Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by the returning Kevin Lewis for Pig Hill having its world premiere at Frightfest. That's very exciting. Good to have you back.
Yeah. Nice to be here, Neil. Thank you.
Yeah, so people not aware, can you give them an idea of what Pig Hill is about?
Um, Pig Hill, well, what's interesting is it's based on true folklore in Pennsylvania, in Meadville. And the idea that there's a Pig Hill where there's a satellite and these women get abducted there. And what's interesting is, we shot in Meadville and all those real locations. And when you go there, they actually have these, look for signs, missing signs of women. It's real deal. So they actually have a pig people beer that's actually featured in the movie, and that's a brewery does that. So that's what attracted me to the project. That this basically, a lot of people believe it's an urban legend, and they believe in a lot of different ideas of the pig people and stuff.
Wow,
So,
I actually just wrote down Meadville because my family's originally from Pennsylvania, and so I'm gonna
oh,
actually
very
ask
cool.
ask my mom about this.
Please do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's wild. So are you from
yeah.
Pennsylvania or
No, no, no. I'm from Colorado, but the producers are, and the writer is, and so yeah, it was just exciting to dive into all that.
Yeah, so, when you're filming it, did, like, any of the locals ask about, the movie? Like, did they know that you were making a
Yeah,
movie about this?
yeah, they all did. It was really cool. They were very supportive, everybody in the town, and the locations. It was kind of like our own back lot. We'd go to the different bars, and we actually used a abandoned swimming pool for a set. But all the places were near each other, and so we would go and walk over here. We go to the jail cell, and so it was kind of like a back lot. And it's just a little small town, and the producer Ted Watts, he's from Meadville and his family, and so yeah, it's just really cool. You
Yeah,
know,
and I think, when you have something that's, like, based in, like, a real legend or mythology or anything like that, it adds, like, a
yeah,
realism to the movie, even if you don't know that. Like, even if the person
yeah,
watching it doesn't know that, like, it's based in something that's out there.
agreed, absolutely, and that's what was exciting about it. Was like, this is and everyone has their own point of view of what's going on, right? And so we kind of took all that and kind of made it. The movie's a very kind of it's from the main character of Carrie, her point of view of what's going on. But and she's kind of finding out what's going on with these missing women and stuff. And what I liked about it was you kind of play around with perception,
Mhm.
and it's like what maybe what you see or what you think is going on is not necessarily true. And so there's a lot of different things that you can play with. Like I said, they have a pig people beverage, their beer, which is hilarious,
Yeah.
So everybody has their own ideas of kind of what's going on Pig Hill.
Yeah, and it's a very dark movie. So, I'm interested, what do you think, like, the audience reaction is gonna be? Because I could see, like, it playing really well with a lot of people, and I could see maybe some people, like, maybe leaving because, like, there's a lot of taboos in the movie.
100%. 100%. That's what's exciting about the movie, Neil. It's very polarizing, and it goes to places that I don't think people expect.
Yeah, I didn't expect a
Um,
lot in the movie, so
that's
yeah,
good. That's
100%.
good, though, and that's what's exciting about making that movie. And if it touches people's nerves and stuff, it's kind of to start a conversation about what's going on. That's what drew me to it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Uh,
even there's some real world things going on now that, could be, tied into a movie like this or the story anyway.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I want so this I just wanted to tell people if people like True Detective, I kind of feel like it could be in that kind of world.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. Yeah, very thriller, crime thriller,
but yet there's still like horror elements 100% into it.
definitely, definitely, for sure. Um, but again, it's also horror of like, again, what you think and what there's a lot it's not Terrifier, right?
Mhm.
It's not like, okay, we're just going for kind of and nothing knocking
Yeah,
Terrifier, but it's just it's not in your face, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more, what kind of planting seeds, right, in your mind. And that's what was excited about is it's psychological, and my favorite movie is The Shining, so horror movie.
mhm.
And so I just love psychological horror. Also, Jacob's Ladder, the original was such an inspiration to do a movie like this, and of course, like Clockwork Orange and things like that, like in those nature, so
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's what I like about horror in general is, like, it depends what kind of mood I'm in, so I could watch some very
totally.
thought-provoking, I love those kind of movies, and sometimes I do
Yep,
like something just like a Terrifier movie or something
absolutely.
schlocky like Basket Case or something.
That's what's great about horror is it plays in it's a genre to itself. It's like to me also horror is like it's good drama,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like, the characters and what's going on. But then the aesthetic and like, we could take a thing like Alien. Alien is, sci-fi horror, haunted house horror in space, but then you got a completely different horror like The Shining, right? Psychological horror and like yeah, so horror is just great. It's just a great world to play in,
Even your own movies, like, they're very different, Willy's Wonderland
Yeah.
is completely different from Pig Hill.
Yeah. I wanted that though.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting. As a filmmaker, I don't wanna keep repeating my same thing. I wanna try to test things and, Big Hill, there's a lot of dramatic elements to it, and that's really I love the, dramas and characters and conflict and things like that. So, even with Willy's Wonderland, it's kinda out there and, like, batshit crazy, which is great, but I'm also like the human condition, and things like that. And I wanted to bring that to Pig Hill. And that's what I liked about the script,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just always based on a book, so I'm interested in
Yeah,
finding the reading the book or listening I listen to audiobooks, so I'd like to check that out.
you should. The book is really cool. And the book, we changed some things, of course, and there's some things in the book I thought that was like, I don't, maybe can't go there. But there's some interesting things in the book. You should definitely
Yeah.
check out the
Well,
book. It's very
honestly, as a big fan of books and movies, there's just some things that work in a book that doesn't work in a movie.
Agreed, 100%. And they're separate, right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, everybody's, "Oh, well, the book's better than the movie," and this and that. To me, it's just separate. They're both, art,
Mhm.
but they're just they're separate. Even if screenplay is separate, So, yeah, I think you'll dig the book
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
brought up The Shining. I mean, I think there's stuff that's in the movie that I think works better for a movie than it does, and that I don't wanna say, like, it's better than in the book, but, like, there's just stuff
Yeah,
I think would work better on a film.
100%. I agree.
So, Carrie, the lead, Rainey Qualley, what
Yeah.
made her right, for the role? And had you had worked with her before or anything?
No, no, she was wonderful, she had this sensitivity about her and this what I liked about our cast is it's like when I went to Meadville, like, you believe that there exists there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were grounded, they had a grounding quality to it, so, and she had this kinda dreamy thing that I liked about it, and that's if the movie is very kinda dreamy, and so kind of surreal and kinda out there, and, I just really liked and her take on the character, and she just did such a great job.
Speaking of dreamlikes, like, specifically when you're showing, like, memories more than flashbacks, I guess, and you have, like,
Mm.
the stark, like, red background, like, what was the thought process there? And is that, like, scripted that way, or is that something, like, you come up with, like, while you're filming or in post?
The flashbacks were scripted. Visually, how we did
That's not
them
me
was
either.
more on production. I wanted a color to signify kind of what went on in the past, what was going on now, and so that's why we picked that color and the idea of it kind of just a stark background and a little bit more into the mind, a little more, getting into more the mentality of it rather than. I mean, we could have done it more uh, realistic, right? But I just I like the idea of going into this space trip,
Yeah.
and when you think about things of the past and memories, they're not always crystal clear, and you kind of have just these moments and things and like these, and so that's kind of what I wanted to do. I want to kind of do this atmospheric, but have this background and just being kind of more symbol, and trying to talk about kind of what these images mean and represent in the past, present, and then the future, right? So, yeah, I kind of like how we did that.
And something
I think it was good.
interesting I thought about, since I've got as I get older, sometimes I think about if I retell stories from when I was a kid or what, I
Yeah,
start to think, like, I don't really even remember them. It's almost like I remember telling the story, so I'm just retelling these
yeah,
stories that I know, but
Yeah.
really no memory of them actually happening anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, and everyone's different, right? The
yeah.
perception is different, so that's kinda like, but I wanted to have a consistency to those that, but and that color, because that color to me represents a lot of what's going on, and then but then what's in front, in the foreground, it shifts and changes, but yet it remains consistent, so then we know kind of what happened in the past and what's going on, so, yeah.
So I was talking to my friend Ari Mihailov because I was very happy that he's in the movie and he has a cool
He's
role, and he said
great. Oh, I love our
he's really, happy with the movie, and,
great.
so how did he come about in the movie? Did you know him from somewhere else, or
He was, friends with, actually, Lorene Yackel, who worked on Willie's with me. She's the one that kinda introduced me to this project, and, her and her, husband, Kenny Yackel, is a writer, they're really good friends with RA, and that's how kind of I got hooked to the movie and met Ted and Marty, the producers. So Ted, Marty, and RA are all producers on the
Oh,
movie.
nice. Yeah, and he's great in the movie. He's perfect for the role, and I don't wanna give
He
too
is.
much
He's great.
away, and, he said he had a great time, and he said that,
Yeah.
you were a great director, and you probably don't know this, but he's the one who gave me the name Nasty Neal. I was just Neal for years on the show, and
Really?
he started calling me Nasty Neal, and I liked it, so I
Whoa.
kept it.
He's the best.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
will you be
Yeah.
at Fright Fest?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Yep, yep, I'm gonna go.
Have
Mhm.
you been to Fright Fest before?
No, I hear it's really
Yeah, it's
cool.
that's an awesome festival. It's huge, and I've been there a couple times.
It's yeah, there's a lot of movies there, and it's just yeah, it's exciting, and they really took to the movie, which is cool. So, yeah, we're gonna do the world premiere there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, fans of Fright when you're there, there's, like, people with Fright Fest tattoos, it's a lot of just
Really?
really
Wow.
hardcore horror
Okay,
fans there.
cool. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's a great festival,
Great.
so, not to get ahead of ourselves, because I want people to go to Fright Fest, but, where does the movie go from Fright Fest?
It's gonna be looks like it might be released, in spring of
Oh,
'26.
sweet.
That's right now. Yeah, that's the plan, so we'll see. Yeah.
Because as I said before, I think it's something that'll be really interesting to watch with an audience. I
Yeah.
think it'll be fun either way. I think the people in that like it are gonna be really into it, and I do think it'll put off some people.
Yeah, and that's kind of then that to me, you make a stand, right? To me, you have a vision and you kind of like maybe it's the right or wrong vision for some people, but and I knew that going in, but that's what excited me. This movie's not for everyone. I get it. But I even think though, if you're gonna walk out of the theater, you're gonna turn it off or whatever, you won't forget it,
Mhm.
I think we're talking with the subject matter and things that, it'd be a bummer if they just, in the middle took off because there's a lot going on. I'm very happy with the 3rd act of this movie. I feel it all ties together, and I feel like it's a movie too, like, once you watch it, you can now rewatch it and start picking up things, go, "Ah, there you go. Oh, yeah, that
That's a good
okay,
po
get
I
it."
would like to rewatch it with that in mind because for
Yeah,
most of it, I thought it was a certain kind of movie, and then it becomes something completely different.
yeah, for sure.
And, the
Yeah,
look of the Pig Hill, butcher mask,
yeah.
coming up with that, and, it looks cool. It kinda reminds me of, Farmer Vincent.
Well, no, Jason Baker did a great job on that, and, he did, the effects on Terrifier
Oh,
3,
sweet.
and, he created that mask and those masks and stuff, and, he did a fantastic job.
And there's, great gore in the movie for, fans of that,
Yeah,
like
for
myself. I
sure.
like all of it. I like the psychology of it, and I like the gore, so yeah.
Great. No, I think it's got a little bit of everything to it, and it's got I think it's a pretty intense story at the end of the day, I mean, we're really storytellers, right, when you make a movie, and this story really spoke to me. I thought that, there's a lot of interesting things and elements about it, especially in the culture that we're in right now and things like that, and, so, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. What's the benefit of, for you, in your opinion, of playing festivals and attending the festival?
Well, it's with the fans, right? So you go out there with the horror fans, the real true fans that are, that support this genre. So that's exciting in itself. To me, you make movies for the audience, right? And the audience is your fans, especially in the horror space.
Mhm.
So it'll be fun to watch the movie with fans that people don't even know. Because as you're in a film, you're making a film for so long, you're kind of in this bubble,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it's like, okay, then you finish it, and then it's like, okay, it's the kid that you let out into the world, and now you're like, all right, and so it's going to be exciting just to tend to see, you know, people that don't know anything about this movie, and they just go in and see what they say, you know, and I'm sure we'll probably have some walkouts and everything, but
Yeah, and
that,
that
like I said,
festival
it's
scene is
a cool ride.
exciting for that too, because you know, you go in, you know, sorta blind, you might read a little bit about the movie, but you don't know much about it, when you go into a
Yeah,
festival movie.
yeah. I think the performances are all solid in
100%.
this movie. The actors did a great job. Like I said, it's based on real, true folklore. That's what's, I think, really fascinating about it. And there's really good, you know, themes going on in what we're talking about, you
Yeah,
know, in this movie.
I'm gonna actually look
So
into all that, not just because 'cause you're here, I love the movie, and that, makes me even
I'm
more interested.
glad. That's
Yeah,
great. That's
and
awesome.
where can people follow you or Pig Hill to see, you know, where it goes?
You know, I'm on Instagram, Kevin Lewis Official. So that's usually kind of, I post stuff there. So when we get, you know, confirmation of like the April release date, I'll definitely have it up there for sure.
Alright, sounds
Yeah.
good. Well, thank you for doing this, it's always good to talk
Yeah.
with you, and maybe
Nasty Neal, thank you so much, buddy.
yeah, of course,
Appreciate it.
thanks.